This was supposed to be a quick weekend escape into Washington, my first time exploring the state. Everything was mapped, marked, and ready. We had a trail cam on that tree right there. Yeah, they stole it. We were this close. Turns out the trail had other plans. Welcome back to another video. We are finally getting back out on the trail, and believe it or not, this will be our very first time exploring Washington. We are going to be heading up that trail right behind me there. I found this trail on OnX, and we wanted to get away for a quick weekend. This trail will lead to what I hope is going to be a pretty epic view of Mount St. Helens. So we are going to get on the road and see what this trail has in store. So we're about halfway down. It is about the nicest, well-maintained forest road you could probably ask for. Very few washboard sections so far, hardly any potholes. It has been smooth sailing. We've seen a couple other cars here and there. Lots of animals already. A couple deer. We saw a hawk sitting in the middle of the road. We tried to get it, but it took off before we could get the camera rolling. We're about halfway there, and nice, beautiful trail. The weather is absolutely beautiful. It's 65 outside right now. That gives me hope of chasing the dream of seeing the core of the Milky Way with my own eyes. Tonight we have probably a good chance from about 11 o'clock till midnight. Should be nice and dark before the moon comes up right around that time. So as long as these clouds hold off, then we should be able to see it. We are going to continue on the trail and see what else it has to show us. All right, so I hiked down to our primary spot, and it's pretty tight. Either we pull in, and then I gotta back up the trail to the fork in the road, or where I stopped right there, I turn around there and back it into the site. The only problem is if I back it down, now our campsite or our awning side is facing the cliff wall instead of looking out to Mount St. Helens. The other half of the fork, I'm now hiking up to check that site to see how big it is, what kind of view we got. We drove down to another spot that I had marked. The spur that goes off was really washed out. There were some really off-camber spots. I just made the call that that spot just wasn't going to be good enough. So we're going to go check out this other spot. Well, I hiked up to that other spot, and it's much bigger. No view of the mountain. There's this little track that leads off from that spot up to where I'm at now. And I thought, oh, maybe we could at least bring the Bronco up here. But right here at the top, it gets real tight. But check out these views. So let me hike back down all the way to the car, see what Melissa wants to do. It's still great views. Basically, we're up on a ridge here. So the one campsite's on the one side of the ridge where you can see Mount St. Helens, and the other campsite is on the other side of the ridge where you can just see into northern Washington for miles. So might have to stick with this one. So we got camp all set up. So we got everything set up here. Let me show you our view. So not too shabby. Still some great views out into northwestern Washington. And while we aren't on the cliff face that has a straight on view of Mount St. Helens, we can still see it from our camp. Right up the road where we got up to camp, you can see right there, Mount St. Helens. The only thing about either of these campsites is, man, are there a ton of giant horseflies just everywhere. I can't believe they're not bothering me right now. When I was standing over there at the edge, the one was just all over me, bothering poor Nubs, Melissa, everybody. They're just dive bombing like crazy. I'm hoping once the sun starts to go down, they calm down. Not horrible, but enough to, kind of bug you. Well, we had some awesome nachos for dinner. The sun is starting to go down. We had a good first little night here at camp, and tomorrow we are going to kind of backtrack on the trail that we came up. There's another one that heads down the south side of the ridge towards the river, and it looks like there's a spot maybe you can park down there and walk down to the river. So we are going to do that. We are going to chill out the rest of the night. Hopefully we get a good sunset. I'm not quite sure because there's some clouds moving in, but I'm hoping that the southern sky, which so far seems to be mostly clear, stays that way so that finally I can capture the Milky Way either with my own eyeballs or with a camera. So we will see you guys in the morning. The skies delivered, and so far this trip felt perfect. But sometimes the quietest nights leave the loudest impressions. This isn't the best photo you'll ever see, but it's the most meaningful picture I've ever taken. I've wanted to capture the Milky Way for years, and on this night, I finally did. Well, good morning. It's a nice, not too chilly morning, actually. I mean, it's brisk for sure. We got some awesome low-lying clouds down there in the valley, but some little excitement from last night. We had a trail cam on that tree right there, and around 11 o'clock, no, it was about 10 o'clock, completely dark, a bunch of dudes come ripping through here on dirt bikes and quads. We were already in the camper for the night, and, it's whatever. We're not exactly, super far out. This is a popular area, but whatever. It is what it is. They went up the little trail. They came back down a little while later, and I thought I heard one of them talking about a camera. We didn't think too much of it, or maybe they did see it and they left. We wake up this morning. Yeah, they stole it. So I stand by. The worst thing you can find in the woods is people. Forget the bears, forget any other animals. It's freaking people, man. Camera gone. So we just had some lunch. We had kind of a chill morning, and we are now going to head down and try and make it to the river. Now, I know originally I said there was a pre-curated route that leads down there. However, I noticed another road that looks like maybe it gets even closer. So I built a quick route. So we're taking that to see if we can get down there. The whole route's about 6 miles to get down to the river. So we will see if this route pans out and we can get down there. Well, we were coming along the route that I picked out, hoping to get down close to the river. And when I tell you we were this close, see here on Gaia where we're at, I was a little worried where you see there on the topo lines where the road kind of dives almost not directly down it, but at a pretty steep angle. And I said, well, we're either gonna have to stop there or maybe it's cut out and you know, it does go all the way down to the river. And we rounded this little bend right here and well, we ran in to this. Now on a bike, sure, you would totally get over this, but not in the Bronco, ladies and gentlemen. This breakover right here, and then there's another one there. When I tell you, we can hear the water. We saw the water. There's several spots as we were coming down here, you can see down to the river. It was not meant to be. But it was still a cool drive, some really cool scenery. I guess we'll turn around and head back to camp. It was nice to get out, do a little drive. That's the awesome thing about having a camper is you can make it your base camp and then you don't have to clean everything up to go exploring. We'll definitely be back into this area for sure. We're in like the western section of the national forest, but on the other side of Mount St. Helens, gigantic amount of land to explore. So at some point I do want to do the Washington BDR. I don't know if we're going to do it this year. Anyway, I guess we'll flip the Bronco around and start heading back. All right, well, I couldn't quite go back to the Bronco just yet. I said, you know what, let me climb over that little hill. I kind of walked up, and there's another little berm that you walk up, and then this big hill behind me here. But I'm glad we did, because check this out. So this is a little tributary that probably feeds down into the South Fork of the Toutle River. I don't know if I'm saying Toutle right. I've been asking myself that since we got out here because it's a town we had to drive through to get here. Toutle. I know it's not Toutle. I think it's Toutle. So yeah, cool. So at least we saw some water, little tiny waterfall. Not too bad. You see, this is why you always want to explore. You never know what you're going to find around the next corner. Go until you can't. We soaked in that creek for a little bit more, then turned the Bronco around and started heading back to camp. That line, go until you can't. I didn't think much of it when I said it, but now it feels like the whole trip summed up in one sentence. We didn't reach the river, but we still discovered something. I think that's the new motto for this channel, and maybe even more than that. Well, good morning on our final morning out here at camp. We are in the clouds, as you can see. It looks kind of eerie. I love it. So we got back to camp yesterday. Nothing crazy happened. We had, I think, one more visitor, but nothing to write home about there. So yeah, this was a cool, quick little trip up here. Definitely will be exploring more of Washington. And unfortunately, it's time to head back home, but hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time.